I understand that when you see something adorable, you can't help but pet and cuddle it until you realize what you're doing, swooning and talking in a baby voice. However, please take a moment to consider your actions before caressing that furry creature, as you never know where it has been. Here are 10 adorable animals that you should never touch. Number 10. The term blast frog or see-through frog refers to a group of small amphibians that are all species that share the trait of being so naked that you can see their insides. These adorable little animals are typically bright green in color, but their skin is translucent enough to show off their tiny hearts, livers, and, gasp, their digestive tracts. Most glass frogs spend the majority of the year in trees, but during mating season, they come down from their homes to make love with other frogs, which is when you can find them hanging around banks. It's possible that their translucent quality serves as a means for prospective partners to assess each other's physical attributes, a robust heartbeat, a healthy digestive system, the usual suspects that set you up for romance. Nevertheless, even though these tiny frogs pose no threat to you, you should avoid touching them because you might inadvertently hurt them. It's something to consider. Number 9. It should come as no surprise that the blue-ringed octopus is one of the deadliest animals in all of our oceans. Given its small size of only 5 to 8 inches and a toxic bite that can kill 26 people in a matter of minutes. The deadly neurotoxin used by the blue-ringed octopus is tetrodotoxin, which is also responsible for the deadly effects of the puffer fish and golden poison frog. This means that only the most toxic animals in the animal kingdom possess this deadly substance. If you are bitten by one of these creatures, your only chance of survival is a life-saving ventilator and almost immediate medical attention. The neurotoxin literally paralyzes your body and stops all motor functions, including breathing. But in addition to being extremely beautiful and possessing a bite that is 1,000 times more lethal than cyanide, the blue-ringed octopus is also incredibly intelligent. One of its many talents is the ability to make itself appear as psychedelic as a lava lamp. This is actually the octopus's warning system. If it senses danger, it will light up like a Christmas tree to alert any would-be predators. If I were the predator, I would back off. Number 8. With its furry body, webbed feet, and duck-like bill, the platypus has to be one of the weirdest animals on the planet. It looks like what you might get if you asked a child to create a fantasy creature. In fact, when the English first saw these amazing animals in the 18th century, they believed it was a trick and that the two creatures were actually sewn together. Nevertheless, these magical beasties, despite their strange appearance, are actually real. The platypus is a rare species of mammal, bird, and fish that is found only in eastern Australia and on the island of Tasmania. Despite their adorable appearance, platypus are secretly quite dangerous creatures. Females lose their venomous spurs above their hind legs at the age of 3 months, so these adorable little guys use theirs to fend off predators and engage in combat with other platypus. You probably wouldn't want to anger one of these because they create a deadly toxin that they can inject into a victim, which can kill a dog or a cat and cause a tremendously painful puncture wound in a human. Number 7. Even though the box jellyfish may not be the most adorable animal in the world, they do have a certain allure. However, even if you think this creature is adorable, avoid touching it at all because these creatures are the most venomous in the marine kingdom. Their long tentacles are essentially covered in a large number of tiny poison-loaded darts. If you pet one of these puppies, the death juice is probably not going to be directly injected into your bloodstream, and if that happens, I'm afraid you're better off dead. Although the venom acts quickly, it is still extremely painful and can cause paralysis, cardiac arrest, and even death within minutes of the sting. Fortunately, only a small number of the more than 50 species of jellyfish are actually fatal to humans, which is a relief. Nevertheless, even if you think the jellyfish are adorable, you should never even consider touching them. Number 6. The slow loris is one of the rarest primates on Earth, despite being extremely rare. These animals have a reputation for being extremely slow-moving and having a very poisonous bite for which there is no known antidote. This is an unusual feature for a primate, and scientists are still trying to figure out why the loris has a venomous bite at all. They are very cute, though, and if you like the human-like features of these animals, their hands actually resemble human hands. That's just a little bit creepy. Add to that the fact that the word loris comes from the Dutch for clown, and these creatures move more like snakes than primates, and if the loris does manage to win you over despite looking like a creepy, human-fingered, clown-faced snake, then please take caution, as they can bite you fatally and incurably. Number 5. If you happen to come across a stingray when paddleboarding, you should avoid it at all costs due to its very flat shape, which makes it a very identifiable species. There are actually about 200 different species of stingrays that inhabit freshwater and marine rivers, lakes, and oceans worldwide. Their lengths range from approximately 10 inches to 16.5 feet, and many of them are in danger of going extinct due to habitat degradation and global warming. These creatures live on the ocean floor because that's where they will forage for their food. The stingray's long, slender, sharp tail is one of its most lethal features. They will use their stinger to defend themselves against any perceived threat, which could include an overly eager or just very unfortunate human who happens to be within striking distance of their venomous tail. Avoid this area at all costs unless you want something sharp sticking you. Their tails, well, they're often kind of barbed with a lot of terrible toxins concealed inside. Even though stingrays can be deadly, fatalities from stingray stings are actually extremely rare. The most well-known and possibly most unfortunate stingray death was that of popular television nature host Steve Irwin, who was stung in the chest by a stingray, puncturing with its tail. This was an extremely rare occurrence and just very unlucky. Nevertheless, even if you think these fish are cute, I would still mind your fingers and leave the petting to something fluffier and less packed with venom. Number 4. The cone snail, which has developed one of the deadliest and most effective poison delivery systems on the planet, needs a mercilessly efficient system to prevent its prey from straying away. Its venom can paralyze its prey almost instantly, which is an extremely frightening phenomenon. The cone snail also has a highly specific method for injecting its poison into its victim. It shoots a poisonous mixture at its target through a tooth that resembles a harpoon and is incredibly effective. Despite the deadly venom's promise for pain relief, strangely, scientists have found that some isolated components of the toxic mixture may potentially have enormous medicinal potential as analgesics. Cone snails can sting humans, and there is currently no known way to stop the venom from killing people. If you are stung, your only chance of survival is to rely on medical miracles and machines to keep you alive until the toxins eventually wear off, but this is a risky endeavor, so if it's a cone, leave it alone. Number 3. Most people in the UK are aware that swans can be somewhat aggressive and have been known to break limbs when they get too close. However, the swan is far more deadly than its tendency to snap arms and legs, which may indicate this bird has a murderous mind. The queen is rumored to be the owner of mute swans, so why isn't she a more responsible owner? These crazy birds have been ravaging the countryside, starting fights and breaking bones for no apparent reason. This large bird isn't afraid to defend its territory and nest. Male swans frequently drive one another under the water during fights, and they are also extremely ravenous birds that require a lot of food to keep them going. They feed on vegetation and prey on fish, frogs, and their spawn, mollusks, and insects. Swans are truly to blame for the extinction of other local species, and their voracious eating habits can harm environments by consuming an excessive amount of vegetation. The mute swan is beautiful to look at from a safe distance, but it's not to be messed with. In 2012, a man in Chicago was attacked by one while kayaking. The bird first capsized the boat, and this is the really crazy part. The man tried to swim to shore, but the swan prevented his escape and ultimately drowned the guy. Number 2. The cassowary has earned the unsettling title of being the world's most dangerous bird, and there's good reason for that. These crazy-looking, flightless birds can kill you with a single swipe of their foot. Native to parts of Asia and Australia, cassowaries are listed as dangerous exotic birds, and breeding them requires a permit. The blue-faced helmet-headed cassowary can grow as tall as 6 feet 6 inches and weigh as much as 132 pounds. If ever a bird showed how likely the evolution of dinosaurs into modern birds is, this is the one. Therefore, if one of these attacks occurs, it won't exactly be like being attacked by a sparrow because the cassowary has 3 toes on each foot, one of which functions as a dagger. It has been documented that cassowaries have literally disemboweled humans with this knife-sharp toenail because it is so effective that it can easily sever a limb from a person. This is an extraordinary toe, and the birds require serious podiatrist intervention. These modern-day dinosaurs can and might kill you. A 75-year-old man in Florida was attacked by his own cassowaries at his home. He was so severely hurt in the attack that he actually passed away. Number 1. Here are some interesting facts about this odd-looking fish. I'm not sure whether I would describe these things as cute, precisely, but they are undoubtedly lethal. The pufferfish are named after the peculiar way that they defend themselves from would-be predators in the wild by puffing themselves up to make it extremely difficult for a predator to keep hold of them or to sink their teeth in. Although pufferfish are the second most poisonous vertebrate on the planet, even in second place, these fish contain enough deadly tetrodotoxin to kill 30 humans. So I reckon that second place rating is basically irrelevant. Though their reputation as a highly deadly poisonous fish is well known, there are still plenty of people who want to eat the thing. It may seem crazy, but it's true that in Japan, the fish is considered a delicacy. But it must be prepared by a highly skilled certified person because one small mistake in preparation means that whoever eats it is out of luck. This is serious business, and although there are about 1 death per year from ingesting this delicacy, these are almost always caused by people who attempt to prepare the fish themselves rather than hiring a professional. Well, that's all for today. Can you think of any other cute yet deadly animals that should have been on this list? Let's discuss in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.